The second game that I wanted to get into was Wolves versus Leicester City. Wolves lose to Leicester 1-0. It was a pretty good game. Kind of didn't have too many chances, but it was entertaining. The first half was all Foxes. Wolves didn't really show up for the first half. In typical Wolves fashion, that's what they do. If you're a Wolves fan or if you keep up with their games, it's been kind of frustrating watching them just never come out the gates really firing, always taking a half to get warmed up and then coming back in the second half and being a more aggressive team, like having more urgency. So this was the same thing in this game. Leicester City earned two penalties in the first half. Vardy converted one, and Real Patricio stopped the second one. The first penalty was kind of controversial, or it was controversial in my mind. They were doing the Leicester was doing a cross in the Wolves box, and Max Kilman was like maybe 4 feet away from the cross, and the ball hits his hand. It's in a natural position. There's nowhere he could put his hand, and they call that a penalty. Everyone from the announcers to the embassy, like halftime crew, were questioning like, how is that a penalty? What is the defender supposed to do at that point? Like, how is he supposed to run or even move with his hands like just tied to his body? It's really unfortunate that they keep calling penalties like that. I don't like the new penalty rule. I think they need to go back to the old rule where they gotta measure intent. If there was intent, then okay, like you call it a penalty. But if he's just running, if he's in a natural position, it's really hard to move your hand when they're when the opponent is like 3 feet away from you, or like even less. I don't know how close. It was definitely less than 5 feet, and the ball is coming with pace. Like, what are you supposed to do with your hands? It's super unfortunate. I think if this continues, people are just gonna be hand hunting, arm hunting. They're just gonna tell their forwards to, hey, just cross the ball and cross it, kind of like at a waist level, waist to upper torso level, and just try to get a handball because they're calling that any ball that hits the hand or the arm, they're calling it a penalty nowadays. So just even if no one's in the box, just try to get across, hit that man's arm. I think that's where we're getting to. There's too many penalties being called. I don't like it. I think it's not good for the sport. But yeah, the Wolves were dominated in the first half. Leicester looked like the better team. In the second half, the Wolves played better. I don't want to say they dominated or anything. They played better. They were more competitive. They had some chances, not too many. Don't want to overstate what they did. By any means, they never really challenged Michael. They didn't make him a hero. They didn't make him like the best player on the pitch. They didn't really worry him that much. They did have more possession in Leicester's half, but most of it came to nothing. They I don't know. They have Silva. They spent 40 million euros, I think, on him, and he's not really getting playing time. It was nice to see him get at least 12 minutes. I believe he got, and he looked pretty decent. But they need to put him in more. They need to make that purchase worth it more. Wolves just look pretty stagnant going forward. They look like they're struggling to score goals. Schmeichel did make a great save against this shot from Neves that came outside the box. Is going top right corner, and Schmeichel make a great save. Conserve the tie for the Foxes, and then Leicester goes top of the table after 8 games. They're top of the table going into international break. They were saying that when Leicester won the league, I believe like 4 seasons ago, at this point in the season they were 5th, and now they're 1st. So hey, it might be time for the Foxes to start believing again. They do have a nice squad. Got Madison. They have Vardy. They have Schmeichel. Their defense is solid. They have Tielemans. They have a little squad going. If they could avoid injuries, if maybe they could get a player or two in the January transfer market, they could definitely challenge for the league, especially the way the league is going this year. It looks like it's wide open. Anybody could take it, or anybody of these consistent teams could take it with like decent squad depth. And they play Liverpool when we come back from international break, so that's going to be a great game. It just looks like the Foxes are firing on all cylinders. 6 wins out of 8 games. That's pretty impressive for anybody, and for the Foxes to be doing this with Vardy. And Vardy missed some games too, and now he's back. So I actually like Leicester a lot. It's a team that's easy to root for. They're probably like the Wolves before the Wolves. Like, it's just a team that comes out of nowhere, does good, And as a neutral fan, it's appealing to the eye. You like to see these underdog teams do good. As far as Wolves, the style of play that they used to bring when they moved up from the championship, that really caught my attention, and I know it caught a lot of people's attention, and made some neutral fans Wolves fans, and just made some neutral fans just tune into their games. It's been missing this season. They've been struggling to play like entertaining soccer. They've been struggling to score goals, and I don't know what they need to do. They need to. I think Adama Traore needs to be given a start somewhere along the lines. I mean, whatever they're doing right now, it's not really working too well. They're not really scoring goals, so they got to mix it up a little bit. Put Adama Traore. I know they're missing Jota. He's doing great with Liverpool, but the Wolves got to. Nuno has to do something. I know it was one of their best start. It was the best start ever to the Premier League season statistically, but just the eye test is not there. So Wolves got to do something. Give Silva more time, or start Adama Traore. They got to do something. They can't just keep going down this path and hope to squeak out 1-0 victories and put so much pressure on the defense to always have a clean sheet. I don't think that's sustainable. And if they have aspirations to be a top 6-7 team in the Premier League again this season, and they gotta pick it up and they gotta try something out. So Nuno, try something out, change the squad up a little bit, change the starting lineup a little bit. And Foxes, I'm actually pretty happy that you guys are top of the table. You're an easy team to root for. I like Vardy. Good job, Foxes, top of the table. Shout out to all the Leicester fans out there, and shout out to all the Wolves fans out there too. We're still here. I'm still a Wolves fan. Let's see if they could pick it up the rest of the season.